Friends, not pick their friends to enter a video game competition with them when they know that they would want to be in it.
Welcome everybody to another transfer recap with me, Jackson, and Matt. This is the weekly series, roughly weekly series, where we look at the transfer news of the preceding week. And it's been as busy a week as it was last time round. We've got a lot of breaking news. West Ham have had a bid accepted for a star striker from Serie A. Everton are closing in on Armando Broja as a replacement for Richarlison. Chelsea's pursuit of Nathan Ake has been cut tragically short, but they seem to be closing on Koulibaly. And other than that, we also have the news that the Frankie de Jong saga is set to continue. We know that Barcelona need to sell Frankie de Jong to register their new signings, including Rafinha. And Frankie de Jong has made it clear he still does not want to leave. So we will see how that goes. But despite all that, we are setting aside this video to talk about one transfer in particular. Matt, why don't you tell the people about what we'll be talking about?
Right. So we're talking about one person in particular, the man. He is, some people will call him the GOAT, the greatest of all time, but I'll just call him, a traitor because he plays for a team that I don't like. We're talking about the saga. We're talking about Cristiano Ronaldo, CR7. Everyone knows who he is. We're talking about if he's going to stay at Manchester United. Is he going to move? What's going to happen? He's rejected a $481 million deal from a Saudi Arabian team. So this episode, we're going to look at, does Ronaldo stay at Manchester United? Does he go? If he does stay, how can he improve the bridges that have been burnt in the dressing room? What can he do to shine himself in a better light with all the Manchester United players and staff? Jackson, let's kick it off. What are we talking about first?
Well, first of all, we should really have a chat about what has actually happened in the last week. What we know has absolutely happened. So we know that a sort of Saudi Arabian club, an unnamed Saudi Arabian club, did swoop in to take Ronaldo.
That's correct.
But as far as we know, we can be pretty certain he was never going to accept that, right? He wanted to play Champions League football.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Even though Manchester United aren't playing Champions League football. But he wants to play Champions League football, as you said, yes.
Yeah. So he was never going to accept the deal because he's not a player he's not seeking a larger paycheck. He's seeking one last trophy to sort of wrap himself up because maybe it's not as big of a thought now considering how bad Messi is doing at PSG, but he's probably thinking Messi's got a few years on me. Messi's probably got a few more trophies in him. I feel like this is my last chance to really get this done. And Manchester United don't seem it. But this Saudi Arabian club are even further from those sort of trophies. So he was never going to accept it.
Look, yeah. That Saudi Arabian team, they're just coming in with the money. We've seen it with Newcastle this year. Saudi Arabians took over Newcastle. They brought some money and they've changed the whole complexity of Newcastle around. And Newcastle turned their season around at the end of last season. They went from almost being pretty much well and truly on the cusp of relegation to pushing themselves a bit up from that. They were still in the bottom 10, but they pushed themselves a little bit comfortably out of that relegation zone or threat of falling into there. So we can see how much Saudi Arabian money impacts a football, right?
Yeah.
But as Jackson was saying, Ronaldo is not looking for that. I think off the top of my head, I think it was 2020, Ronaldo was the first player in all sports to reach $1 billion off his contracts from sport and his endorsement deals and stuff like that. So he's got money. Money isn't in question here. It's what he wants his legacy to be at the end. Does he want to try and get a few more trophies? Jackson was saying Messi's done pretty much all of it now. He's done the one thing he couldn't do for years, and that was win a trophy with Argentina. And he's done it now. He's done it with the Copa America. So Ronaldo just wants to match Messi or even try and get a bit further higher than Messi. So people regard him as a greater GOAT or a higher GOAT status than Messi.
Yeah. And that's really what he's got to compare himself to. But That being said, so we know that he was never going to go to that Saudi Arabian club. So the real question is then who remains? So we know that Bayern has rejected it. And we also know that Tuchel has come out at Chelsea and said he's not interested in that deal. He's going to focus on defenders. Who is left?
There's not many people left. I tell you right now, there's not many people in the Premier League left. No. That's for certain. I mean, you look at the Premier League spots, look at the Champions League spots as it stands at the end of last season. You got Manchester City, who's just signed Erling Haaland and who has a pretty formidable front three. You've got Liverpool, who are in the same situation. They've got Salah, they've got Luis Diaz, they've got Jota, they've got Firmino. Yes, Mane's left, but they still have a very formidable attacking prowess, right? Tottenham, Harry Kane, Heung-min Son, Kukulevsky. They've signed a few other attacking players as well. They've got Richarlison. They've got enough attacking players. They're not going to want Ronaldo there. And Chelsea, as you said, Tuchel's trying to focus on the defenders from that influx of centre backs and defenders that we've lost from the end of last season and even going into the next season. Plus, I'd rather not have Ronaldo on my team because I've seen the way he destroys young youth players, and that's exactly what he did at Manchester United. That's exactly what I said he was going to do before he moved there. I said that to Anthony, and you said it as well, Jackson. We did say he was going to wreck the young players' growth.
Controversial. I mean, some of those young players at Manchester United ruined their own growth by their own actions, but
locked up boys.
Well, a video in the works. It's worth. I mean, that being said, so there's no Premier League teams in this. I don't think Tottenham's name were ever thrown into it.
No.
But that being said, so let's look at Europe then. So we know that Bayern won't, PSG won't.
No. I think his only other chance of getting into a Champions League football team is he has to go back to Italy. Go back to because I don't think Madrid goes for him because Madrid. I don't think Madrid's going to want to bring Ronaldo back.
I think actually Madrid is his best option.
You reckon?
Barcelona can't afford it, so it's
Barcelona
definitely not Barcelona.
Definitely can't.
I think Perez is a sucker for a big name signing, and he could take Ronaldo back, but I think it's very unlikely.
I don't think it's.
But explain the Italy rationale.
I think there's obviously same as all the other leagues. There's a few spots in the Italian league to go into the Champions League, right? He's played at Juventus before. He might want to make another appearance at Juventus. There's also a couple of Italian clubs there that are starting to build up a little bit. Roma's starting to play well with Tammy Abraham up front and Jose Mourinho as the manager. I mean, Roma has some good foundations there, and Ronaldo might think to himself, oh, look, I can be that other person to sort of bring up like what I did to Juventus. I've played in the league before. I know how the league plays. I know the style of play that some players might like to play. And Jose Mourinho, Ronaldo, Portuguese manager, Portuguese player. They know each other really well. So that's the rationale behind it.
Yeah, that's true. Well, sure. I mean, is it a shout potentially that he could go back to Portugal? There are teams in Portugal with Champions League football.
That's also a shout as well. Yeah, I mean, go back to the roots he has. But do you see that happening though? Because I don't see it happening going to Portugal.
No. I think it's one thing to say. Here's the thing with Ronaldo though, is he doesn't just want to play in the Champions League. He wants to win it.
That's it.
So the reason why he went to Chelsea and went to Bayern first was because they're clubs he thinks has a real chance of winning it, and they need a striker. With Chelsea losing Lukaku, Bayern Munich losing Robert Lewandowski. Those were the clubs that have a good chance of winning it that had openings. Yeah. PSG as well to an extent, but they just didn't entertain it at all.
Well, I do remember Real Madrid. I forgot which player it was. I think it was Modric who came out and said that that Real Madrid in their run to the Champions League final honestly thought that they were going to lose to Chelsea. That they were the best team that they'd come across in the lead up to that final.
And they. Yeah, to be fair, they did then play both the better teams in England after Chelsea, but beforehand, there was nobody they'd played who was comparable. So that being said, I think based on that conversation, Ronaldo's options are actually quite limited. So that being said, the obvious judgment then is he might have to stay at Manchester United. Like sort of like how Gareth Bale has had to stay at Real Madrid for large spans of time.
Until now he's moved to USA.
Yeah, until recently. But so where does Ronaldo start with getting himself back? Like, do you think Manchester United would just toss this to one side, put it aside and put him straight in to their plans for this season?
Well, look, I honestly think it depends on Erik Ten Hag. I believe it depends on the coach. What the coach wants to do, whether he believes more on the team dynamic being a fundamental part of his playing style, or whether it's, Ronaldo, big name, put him in there because he's going to want to demand more. He's going to want to demand to be on the ball. The same thing that what happened last season with Gunnar Solskjaer. He wants to just demand to be more and demand to get onto the field. He's the main star. So I really think it depends on the manager, whether Ronaldo sort of mends those bonds or not, because Ronaldo can just keep going the way he's going now. I mean, you're seeing him, he's doing the same thing to Bruno Fernandes, like what he does to him at Portugal. He's taking away all of his opportunities. And I'm sure he's doing it to other Manchester United players as well. I mean, we did see something, I don't know if you remember, Jackson, it was the last day of the Premier League this year that Ronaldo did not play for Manchester United, and a couple other players didn't as well. And then it come out afterwards that they had a fight on the training pitch in the last training. So I think it really depends on the manager and what the manager wants from this team.
Complicated though by the fact that, as you said, you're talking about interplayer issues there. There are probably a few players in that squad who would have been happy to see Ronaldo go.
Oh, definitely.
And you can agree or disagree with them. If those players are there, then it complicates the situation if he is going to sort of settle back and stay with this team. I mean, at the end of the day, they needed a striker anyway because they lost Cavani. So I think if Ronaldo stays, of course they're going to play him. I think, like, unless things really go wrong now, I think as things stand, they would play him.
Yeah, I believe so.
But you've got to think, but you can play him, but should you? His motivation, I think, would just be lacking. Would be the first ever season he's played in the Europa League. You got to wonder if he'll have the motivation to play to the point where he scores another 18 goals for them.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, and even the 18 goals he did score in the Champions League and in the Premier League as well, most of the goals were goals to either, scrape a 1-0 win, scrape a draw or something like that. So it wasn't like last season they were pushing hard to get into that Champions League final spot or challenging the top 4 for the Premier League either. Like you can see his motivation is slowly going down. And yeah, like you said, the Europa League is going to drop it even more. He's never played in the Europa League before, so yeah, he's just going to see it as his career's declining. He's declining, but he's got a certain status to his name. Because that certain status is there, I can move to any Champions League team I want. That's what he's thinking.
Yeah. I mean, it's a complicated one. I mean, Manchester United fans, some of them don't like what he's done and others like it. But the consensus is whether you like it or dislike it. As a Manchester United fan, a lot of them have said he should go. Like if they think his action is disgraceful, they think he should leave because that's unacceptable. If they agree with his frustrations because the Glazers didn't sign the players to have the ambition, then they would also say, yeah, he should go. If he doesn't, if he's not feeling right, then he should go. To have him stay, I think, is quite toxic. And I wonder, you got to wonder how Manchester United fans will react to him staying, because plenty of them came out and said things about him, about disgraceful behavior, about him not showing the right attitude, about him disrespecting the club.
But then again, the Manchester United fans are the most reactive fans.
Whoa. I'm sorry, audience. I'm sorry.
Hey.
If you're a Manchester United fan, he doesn't mean it. He doesn't mean it.
If you're a Man United fan watching it, spam the comments. Well, I want to hear your thoughts about this. But if I mean, honestly, you're the most reactive fan base in the Premier League. Don't worry about Liverpool and I'm being serious. Like, don't worry about Liverpool or the Arsenal fan TV guys. You Manchester United fans, you're the most reactive fans I've ever seen. Ever.
Well, that being said, we're coming to the end of our time here. But Matt, So I'll get your final verdict. Is Ronaldo staying at Manchester United for
Look,
next season?
I don't think he has any other option to move, to be honest. I think Portugal's a slim chance. Real Madrid's a slim chance, maybe a bit higher than Portugal. Italy might be a little bit higher than both of those, but then again, it's the option of whether those Italian teams make it past, the round of 16, the quarterfinals to even get to the Champions League final, because Ronaldo's ultimate goal is going to be to win the Champions League one more time. So I honestly think he stays with Manchester United.
Yep.
And in saying that, some players have left, so I think some attitudes might change, whether it be good or bad. I mean, we've seen one of the biggest egos in the team, Paul Pogba's left as well. So who knows what that midfield makeup's going to look like now. So yeah, I think he's going to stay, but I don't know how some of the players are going to react. It might be good, it might be bad. Who knows?
Yeah.
What about yourself, Jackson? Give us your verdict.
I'm going to say he's going to stay. I think it's pretty definitive. I think if a Saudi Arabian club is swooping in, I think that's the end of the road for that transfer saga. And with that said, that is our verdict. This transfer saga is over. The media will go on about this for a few weeks, but we think this is over. Unless Perez gets a hard on the Ronaldo again, I find that unlikely, though. I think that calmer heads will prevail, and I think this one is over. So thank you for joining us. That would be the end of our work. Let us know how you feel, and until then, we'll see you next time with another transfer recap.
The saga is over. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good time.